Hey guys, Tiffany Ofili Porter here, where I discuss all things life after sport. This video, I'm going to take you guys behind the scenes of the Kansas City YouTube Creator Collective. Now, this is my first time ever doing this event, and it's kind of like a privilege to go. It is very like invite only, and you have to have a presence on YouTube to even be able to be selected to attend this event. It's going to be networking, and I'm just looking forward to everything that it has in store. So continue watching if you want to see what it looks like to attend this type of event.
Balancing motherhood with medals on her chest. She's proven that greatness knows no rest. Representing the countries with pride she stands.
So as you can see, I'm in the car driving to the Creator Collective, and it's in Kansas City, Kansas, which is very close to where I live. It's about a 36-minute drive, I think, because of traffic. It's kind of rush hour. The event is from 5 to 8. And because of the way my husband's work schedule is, he had to kind of leave a little bit early. Sorry for all that shaking of the camera. We're making do with what we have. And I'm going to get there probably closer to like 5:45, but that's okay. Better late than never. I couldn't really figure out how else to do it because I had to work around my husband's schedule with the kids. But I'm really excited, you guys. As you know, this YouTube page is relatively new. Kind of launched it on November 13th, 2023. I've talked about it so much. If you haven't seen my previous videos about how YouTube has changed my life and about how I got monetized quickly and tips on how you can do the same, make sure you check those videos out. But I'm just really honored to even be invited to this event. This is my first influencer event that is specific to YouTube. Now, I've been invited before to different events based off of my audience on Instagram, but for it to be a YouTube event, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I was feeling it. And I know some of my fellow creators didn't necessarily get selected this time around. So it's not like everybody that applies or everybody that wants to go has the opportunity to do so. So it's definitely a privilege, one that I really appreciate, one that I'm excited about, and stay tuned for what this event looks like.
As I was driving to the event, I decided that this would be a good time for me just to reflect on the journey and kind of the importance of celebrating those small wins. Now, obviously, being invited to an event like this might not necessarily seem like a big deal to someone who's not in the creator space, but to me, it was a victory that I really did respect and honor. And I just want to use this as encouragement to celebrate those small wins, even if somebody doesn't necessarily understand the vision or understand the level of excitement that you have. That's none of your business. When we stop and smell the roses and kind of see the wins along the way, it will allow us to appreciate the journey and to just really look at it from a holistic perspective. So during this time, I was interviewing some of my fellow creators that I absolutely love. That was Kina, and then this is Ashton here, and there were just some other creators that I also interviewed. Unfortunately, my microphone went out. That's why you can't hear what they're saying, but they are absolutely lovely girls. Love them. This is IBA. She is a model as well as a creator. I met all three of these particular ladies at Kansas City Fashion Week, and we've been rocking together ever since. And then this is also Brooke, another creator that I met at Kansas City Fashion Week. She's also a model and a track star. And this is Honor, who actually is also a professional runner, and she coaches Brooke. So it was just fun to see how everybody was connected, to meet new creators, to kind of see what their own particular angles are, and just to fellowship and network. I think in the creator space, sometimes it can feel a little lonely and a little bit like you're isolated and doing this on your own. So that is why events like this are just so important. And when you get to that space, I think just showcasing your authenticity and allowing your true colors to shine through, for better or worse. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that is okay. But the people that are going to love you and rock with you are going to be there and appreciate you in your full glory. So just keep that in mind. Use this as encouragement to go out there and be your best self, to put your best foot forward, and to always just show up authentically.
We doing it twice or once?
3, 2, 1.
But we gotta go hard though.
That's all we need.
That one was really good.
You know what we gotta do?
So we are back here in the house. It was a great event. As you can see, I have my tag, which I'm gonna really hold on to this. This is kind of an accomplishment for me, you guys. Like the creator collective, where you have your official creator badge, and when you get there, they have to check you off the list to make sure that you were actually supposed to be there. And it was a lot of fun. We got this swag bag, which again, you guys, this means a lot to me. I'm a new YouTuber, okay? I know that some people might be like, but Tiff, like, duh, you're on YouTube. But it's like, no, I created this platform from scratch, and it really is just a blessing to kind of have your efforts be acknowledged. So I really enjoyed the event, and it was a very good time. To be honest, I didn't know what my expectations were going into it. I knew there was going to be networking because they made it very clear that that was going to be the case, but I actually thought it was going to be like a more structured event where the host, Big Cam I Am, would come and kind of drop some nuggets kind of formally. And although we did have an opportunity to talk to him and kind of pick his brain, he's a comedian here on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. He has a platform of over 500,000 subscribers here on YouTube. So he's obviously doing something right. And we did kind of just see what his strategy was and learn a little bit from him on kind of his approach. However, it wasn't anything where it was like they had a designated portion or a panel where creators could all ask questions. But in true Tiffany fashion, you guys already know I was asking very pointed questions because I'm here to learn. And I have always been one of those people who believed, whether it's with track or pharmacy or real estate or now as a content creator, that whatever you want to do, you find people who are doing it better than you and you learn from them. So that is just a huge part of my approach in life. I never believe you're too big. Even when I become this big time creator making multiple six figures, I'm going to still learn from the ones who are making even more multiple six figures in their business, because it's all about learning and all about growing. So I really enjoyed the event. Like I said, it was a lot of networking. So I met Christian creators, I met DIYers, I met fashion designers, I met models, I met singers, I met somebody who runs like this like news break type of channel here in Kansas City, and just an array of creatives in different genres. And that's one thing we kind of chatted about while we were sitting down. They did feed us, they did have an open bar. So it was a very well put together event. But one thing we discussed is that everybody has their lane. I met a fellow mommy blogger, and her content is very different than mine. The vibe is different. She's killing it in her lane, and I can kill it in mine. So I've always been one of those collaboration over competition type of people. And I think that was one of the key takeaways for me from this event, as well as the importance of networking and just being authentic and kind of finding your tribe. I personally would not have even known about this event had Ashton, shout out to Pretty Cash blog. That's my girl. We've become fast friends ever since Kansas City Fashion Week. But had she not reached out to me and just, gave me a heads up of this event to go and just like shoot my shot and apply, I would never have known about it. And that's literally how it started with Kansas City Fashion Week. That is how it started with the Mavely event. All of these different avenues that I've been able to kind of network and meet fellow creators in the KC metropolitan area have been because I just go out and make friends and have conversations and kind of get brought along for the ride. And then once you get your foot in the door and you kind of make a seat at that proverbial table, what you do with it is then up to you. So for example, Ashton, she is like such a ray of light. Everybody that comes around her just loves her. She's actually
hosting, or I guess kind of put together a creator get together, a creator meetup in 2 days, where we're going to go to a restaurant, create content, get a party bus, and all of the above. And yes, I am taking my very pregnant behind on that party bus, and I will be enjoying my mocktail. So just another example of people, like, real can recognize real, if that makes sense. Like, I feel as though she was very targeted and very specific on the people that she wanted to be a part of that creator meetup, and she invited me. I was so excited. It was a great time. It's going to be a great time, and I might even bring you guys along for the ride for that as well, maybe as a short or something. But all in all, it was a good event. Apparently, these creator collectives happen all throughout the country. So a lot of the big cities have their version of it. And from what I understood from the host, Big Cam I Am, he mentioned that this was the first time that they have done it in Kansas City. Somebody else said that this is the second time. But either way, it's relatively new. And that's probably why I didn't hear about it last year, as well as I'm also just kind of new to the area and kind of getting my footing in this location. So all of that to say, you guys, if there's something that you want to achieve, if there is an industry that you want to tap into, if there is a lane that you've never run in before in the past and you want to learn more about it, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody who's better than you. Don't be afraid to learn from people who are doing it differently than you. Just because you might have a bigger following on Instagram, for example, and somebody with a smaller following, they might be making more money than you. They might have more connections than you. They might be better at creating content than you. And sometimes I think it's easy when you're in this creator space to get caught up in the vanity metrics and think, oh, just because this person has 500,000 subscribers or 700,000 subscribers, they're making bank. And in my experience in this industry, that 100% has not been the case. There are creators who have way less followers than me, who are making more money than I do based off of what they share. And I can tell you unequivocally, I know of some accounts that are way bigger than mine that just aren't monetizing and not optimizing their platform. So I don't necessarily want this to be like a tips for creators page, because I'm still getting it out the mud myself and trying to figure this whole thing out. However, I do think kind of as I'm learning and as I'm growing in this space, I can bring you guys along for the ride and teach you some of the things that I'm learning at the same time. So one thing I also really enjoyed at the event is that you were able to kind of see how people do it their way. So as you're networking and you're kind of getting people's handles, you go on there and you kind of just like, at least I always do this. I don't know if anybody else does this, but you know how when you follow somebody initially online, you kind of scroll to see what their content is all about, just seeing how they optimize their bios, seeing if they're using more shorts on YouTube versus long form content on YouTube, or just seeing kind of what their approach is. You can learn from that. You might say, you know what? I like this approach. I want to implement this into my strategy. Or you might say, this is not the way I would do it. I'm going to stay in my lane and continue to create content the way that I see fit. Either way, I look at everything as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to get better, and to just make myself more impactful in whatever space that I'm in. So that's kind of the takeaways from this creator event. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything in particular you want me to elaborate on, kind of telling you like the selection process. To be honest, I don't even know the selection process, but you definitely did have to apply and give your handles. And since it was a YouTuber creator event, I do believe that you have to at least have a presence on YouTube. I saw creators as small as 300 subscribers, and then you had the host who had 500,000 subscribers, and we all were in the same room learning and growing from each other. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to do a part 2, and if you're liking these kind of behind the scenes of my life as a creator type of vlog, and I can do more of those. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.